Hi and welcome to this presentation from Wealth. My name is Chris Hall and I'll be taking you through lease options today. First of all, what is a lease option? Well, first of all, it's a creative investment strategy. We've got more creative investment strategies available in our book, Super Secret Investment Strategies Guide, which is available from our website, eh-wealth.com. Now, hopefully you picked that up by now. If you haven't, then head over to the website and just enter your email address in the box on the right-hand side, and we'll send it straight over to you. Basically, what they are is a way of taking control of a property without having to pay for it initially. It's a great way of doing. It's a great way of getting, like I say, getting control of the property. You don't need a mortgage. You're going to effectively babysit the payments that the seller's already paying. So let's say the mortgage payment was £300 a month. You're going to pay them £300 a month, but you're going to cover everything. So you're going to take care of their maintenance. You can do what you like to the property, and you're going to pay for it after, say, 5 years, effectively leasing, like you would a car. Maybe you want to, you get a car from BMW. You can't afford to pay for it up front, so you pay them a lease fee every month, and then pay a balloon payment at the end. And it's a great way of starting a property portfolio with no initial money. You can get multiple amounts of these, rent them out to people, sell them on. The property is effectively yours for the 5 years that you're leasing it off somebody. So why would you want to get involved? Well, quite simple. You don't need any money to buy the property, and you can take control of it and do literally whatever you like with it, as long as it's obviously set out in the original lease. Go through the solicitors, make sure your seller has a solicitor as well, and you can pretty much do what you want with it. Build an extension, add value, repaint it, anything like that. You effectively own the property. You can rent it out to others, or you can even sell the lease option on to somebody else. There are people out there who do that. I've done that myself a few times. Go and find the lease option. Get the house from somebody, and then find somebody who wants to take it further, wants to rent it out to themselves, but can't afford to sort of buy a property themselves and don't really know much about lease options or how to get them. So I'll charge them a fee for the privilege of taking it off me. How to find a lease option opportunity? You may think it's quite difficult. Why would anybody actually sort of agree to selling their property on this sort of deal? Basically, you can find them anywhere really. It is a good thing for the seller as well. Basically, as long as they don't need any money up front, they're not moving onto a new house. They don't need money to buy a new house. It might be an inherited property. Maybe if family members died, and they don't really want the property. They don't want to be a landlord or anything like that. They just want to get rid of the property, and they want to, they want to get some money off it, but they don't need the money initially. No onward chain is something you'll probably see on a lot of estate agents' websites and in their windows. Basically means that the seller of a house doesn't need to sell it in order to move to somewhere else. The owner wants to move abroad. Maybe they've got a house abroad. They had a holiday home abroad for ages, and they just want to finally emigrate to retire. But as they own the house abroad already, they just need maybe a little bit of cash up front for their flights or whatever. But they're happy to have the house in this country, but they don't want to be a landlord. They don't want to have to deal with any of the problems that accrues with being a landlord. Or of course, landlords who are fed up with being a landlord, don't want to deal with tenants, don't want to deal with maintenance. Maybe they've had problem tenants in the past. They'll be more than happy to say to you, yeah, take it off me. I just want my my mortgage payments paid, and then you can pay me out of sort of 5 years that you're going to agree. How to sell a lease option to a seller? In my experience, the hardest thing about it is to get people to understand. If you start talking about lease options and things like that, it's words that they haven't seen. In the UK, it's not a very popular way of doing things at the moment. In America and Canada, that sort of area, it's absolutely huge. People are doing these all the time. So you can maybe say that. The important thing, as with any sort of sales tactic, really, is to build a relationship with the seller, so they trust you, and they're happy to go with what you're suggesting. Give a relationship with the estate agent as well. Important thing as well, working with estate agents on this sort of thing, is to make sure their fees are paid. Obviously, they usually get sort of 1%, maybe 1.5% for each sale. And if they're not actually selling the house outright, they're not going to get their fee. So if you tell the agent, look, I'll cover your fee, maybe 1,500 quid or something like that, you can find from somewhere, pay their fee off. They'll be more than happy to suggest to other people that you're a good way to sell their property. Find out what they want from the deal. Basically, if they need a couple of £1,000 to get themselves sorted abroad, find that, give them that. If they're happy with that. If they just want to get rid of the house, tell them you'll do it. They don't want to be a landlord anymore. You'll take everything over. They don't need to do anything at all. And basically ensure they understand what it means. If they've got any questions, you can either sort it yourself or pass it on to a solicitor, get them to explain, or explain to the estate agent. Maybe the estate agent is well versed in lease options. I know a few around here are. And basically explain that you'll be babysitting their mortgage payments. So make sure they know that you will be paying them every month, as you would your mortgage, because that could be one of the most sort of challenging things. Obviously, you don't actually have the mortgage, so there's no kind of, I guess, real obligation for you to pay them. But as long as you insure them by building the relationship, making sure they trust you, then yeah, they'll come around and they'll be more than happy to go with a lease option. Being ethical with lease options, I saw a few articles in various newspapers about don't use lease options. It's a bad idea, or this kind of thing. People are just people aren't paying for your house, and they've got no legal obligation to pay your mortgage. This is true, but if you're like myself, I'm an ethical property investor. I like everything to be, I like to get things done in a nice and ethical way. Ensure a win-win situation for yourself and the seller. Make sure they get what they want and you get what you want. It's the idea of the perfect deal, really. You don't want to have them coming back to you after sort of 5 years going, I didn't understand, I was misled, or this kind of thing. They've got, you want to make sure they're happy and make sure you're happy. Ensure you make the payments to the seller on time. You don't want them going to sort of mortgage arrears and being in trouble with the bank. So make sure you ensure that direct debits or everything is paid to them on time. If there is an issue, make sure you let them know in advance so they can talk to their bank. And of course, make sure the seller gets legal advice, whether that's something you pay for. We've got a couple of solicitors we use. One we use ourselves, and one we suggest to the seller. This can be good because it means the seller doesn't have to pay for it if they're maybe in financial difficulty or something like that. Then they might be happy to use your legal advice. But a lot of people tend to like to use their own legal advice due to conflicts of interest or that kind of thing. They've got a solicitor they trust and have done things for them before. So yeah, just ensure they get legal advice so they can't come back to you after 5 years when their property value is shot through the roof and they want the house back, basically. Couple of exit strategies on this one. This is where it gets quite nice and exciting. You can take on the lease option and sell the property on the open market. This is good if the property is a lot below market value. You could maybe take it on, give it a lick of paint, and then put it straight on the market. Still paying the mortgage payments on it, and then make your profit that way. Refurb it or add value, so add an extension, some decking, new kitchen, all that kind of thing. Anything that's going to add value to the property and make it more saleable. That maybe the original seller couldn't actually afford or didn't really think of doing, and maybe add a loft conversion. So you get an extra room there, so that'll add value to the property as well. Rent the property to someone for a lease period. So say you've got a lease of 5 years, you can rent it out for 5 years or maybe 4 years, and then sell it on with the tenant in situ. You know, make it even more of a nice prospect for the next investor. Obviously, if you rent the property out for 5 years, hopefully the price of the house will have increased. But as you've agreed to buy the property at a price at the beginning, hopefully it will have risen well above that, and you'll make some profit on the exit as well. Get an option on a townhouse, turn it into flats and rent them out separately. A bit of an expensive option there, but again, you can make a hell of a lot more money renting out individual flats and you know doing it that way than you could just as one single family dwelling. So yeah, it might be an initial cost, but you can find a joint venture partner if you can't afford it yourself. And then you do the work. They provide the cash injection, and then you rent the individual flats out. Or one that we've done quite a few times is sell it to a tenant buyer as a rent to buy opportunity. These are fantastic for people who haven't got a mortgage. A lot of people, have got bad credit these days. Maybe they're self-employed and they will just become self-employed, but within the next 5 years they'll be able to get a mortgage on the property. I've gone through this sort of thing. We like to call it a sandwich option in our sandwich option calculator video, which is one that I've sent out to you guys a couple of days ago. So check that out as well. But that's a very good profit-making strategy, and having a tenant buyer, someone who can't get a mortgage at the moment, it widens the amount of people that you can sell to, and stick it on Gumtree or stick it on Rightmove or something like that, and we put them up there, and we have inquiries within minutes for people looking to come and see the property. So it's a very good opportunity and way to do things. So yeah, if you've got any questions on lease options or any other strategies, I know it's been quite a quick presentation, but that haven't really want to go off too long about it. Email me at chris@eh-wealth.com. You can check out our blog at eh-wealth.com. And also make sure you contact us about our mentorship programs and the upcoming Property Investment 101 classes. And of course, if you want to get us on social media, we are facebook.com/ehwealth. Twitter is ehwealth, and Instagram for the funny pictures of us shaking hands with people and all that kind of thing. Make sure you find us on ehwealth as well. So thanks for listening, guys, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye now.